Let's bring in New Jersey Governor Christie, who will deliver the convention's big keynote speech tonight. Good morning, Governor.
Morning, George. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. We just heard from John Carl. President Obama is going to be campaigning today. The convention is back to business, but you could be taking that podium tonight just as Isaac is making landfall. Have you had to adjust your speech to take account of that?
No, not really, George. I think, my speech has pretty much stayed the way it was intended to be. But we're all obviously looking very closely at what's going to be happening in the Gulf. And our thoughts and our prayers are with the people in Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama to hope that any damage that may happen will be minimal and that there'll be no loss of life.
A lot of the party faithful are looking forward to a fire and brimstone speech from you. Is that what they're going to get?
We'll see. Come tonight and watch, George. I'm not going to tell you too much about what we're going to do tonight, but you know that I'll be talking about the New Jersey experience and what that means for the country, what it can mean and can promise for the country. There'll be some other stuff I'll be talking about too, but I'll be ready when I walk out on that stage tonight.
The Democrats are already ready for you to talk about the New Jersey experience. They're pointing out ahead of your speech that New Jersey is near the bottom of states in unemployment, 48th in unemployment, 47th in economic growth.
Yeah, except that in the last 12 months, George, we're ranked 4th in the country in terms of number of private sector jobs that have been created according to CNBC, and that we've had 90,000 new private sector jobs created since I've been governor. This is from a state where we had raised taxes and fees 115 times in 8 years and had just stifled our economy. So we're not going to turn that around overnight. But like I've said before, the New Jersey comeback has begun.
One of the big advantages Republicans have coming into this presidential race is that 2/3 of Americans, according to our poll, believe America's going in the wrong direction right now. They don't think President Obama has done a good job on the economy, but they're far from sold on Mitt Romney and the GOP. Both Mitt Romney's personal brand and the Republicans' party brand is underwater right now. How do you turn that around?
You start turning around tonight. Ann Romney speaking tonight in prime time, my speech, and you go to Paul Ryan on Wednesday night and on Thursday night, Mitt Romney. And listen, I've always said this, George. You've interviewed me before about this campaign. Mitt Romney's going to have to win this campaign, and to do that over the next 70 days, he's going to have to let the American people see who he is. Put out a bold vision for the future. Remember, he's a challenger. You remember how this works, George. Challengers always get a late look. They know the incumbent, and they're trying to see if they really trust the challenger to sit in the Oval Office.
You've pointed out in the past that he's had a hard time connecting personally with voters, and the governor, at least in interviews over the weekend, seems to suggest that he's not willing to show a lot more of himself. Is that a mistake?
Well, listen, first of all, I saw those interviews, and I don't think that's what he was really saying. I think you've seen him show a lot more of himself even since Paul Ryan's joined the ticket. I think Paul's brought great energy to the ticket. He's brought great energy to Governor Romney after a long and arduous campaign. And so I think that the American people are going to see a lot more of him. And I think they're going to start seeing it tonight with Mrs. Romney, who no one can speak better, more articulately about the man that Mitt Romney is and the leader he'd be for our country than Ann Romney. So I think the fun starts tonight, George, and I think the American people are starting to get a complete picture about who Mitt Romney is and why he would be a great president.
The keynote is a big honor for you, but keynoters have a mixed history. Some are forgotten. Others, like President Obama, go on to be president. What's the one thing you want Americans to know about you when you finish your speech and step off that podium tonight?
George, I think if the American people watch tonight, leave the speech by saying, yep, that's him, that's who I heard about, it seems genuine to me, then I think I will have done my job for me. And if they say, I like the vision he's laid out for the country and for his party for the next 4 years, then I will have done the job for my party and my country. So there's a whole bunch of things to accomplish tonight, and hopefully in the time that I have allotted to me, I'll be able to do it.
We'll be watching, Governor. Thanks very much.
Thanks, George. Thanks for having me on this morning.